Hi guys, welcome to another video. And in this video, we'll look at promises as a topic, and we'll go through 10 important questions. Okay, promises as an interview topic is very important. You will definitely be asked one or two questions related. Okay, so let's just get into it. Yeah. First of all, what are promises? What promises? Promise is an object that represents the eventual completion of an asynchronous task. It has three states: pending, fulfilled, and rejected. Okay, and why it was introduced? It was introduced to resolve the callback help problem. The second question, promise APIs. There are four promise APIs: promise.all, promise.all settle, promise.raise, and promise.any. You should really know the difference between each one of them. For example, promise.all fulfills when all the promises are resolved, and it rejects if any one of them catches an error. Okay. What does promise.all settle do? It shares the result of all the promises, whether they were failure or they were resolved. Promise.raise, it shares the completion of the first promise that is being resolved, whether it was failure or whether it was resolved. Promise.any, it shares the first resolved promise, and if all the promises are errors, throws an error, then it shows an aggregate error of each one of the promise. Okay, you should know the difference between each and one of them. The next question. Okay, so for the next question, we'll just we'll just go to the compiler, and this is the question. We are gonna do a very practical question. Now in this function, I'm just creating an async task, right? It will randomly give me a resolved value or rejected value, and then there is a array of few async tasks. Now the question is I have to execute them parallelly. Okay, I have to execute them parallelly and make sure to give them errors and results. Okay, so how would I be able to do it? uh, the best approach is to use promise, obviously, but which promise? The answer here, because I need to share the result of both errors and results, it's promise.all settle, because it will share me the result of both. Okay, now when I was giving an interview and I was asked the same question, what they said was ki I could not use promise.all settle. So what I needed to do, I needed to create a polyfill of it. Okay, so let's just do it. So for example, results an array and errors an array. Got it? Now task dot for each task, I should write an index as well. Okay, I also need to check for errors of index. And then finally we'll just, what we can do, let count equals to 0 and plus if count equals to dot length. Sorry, we will, what we'll do, we will call this callback function and add errors and results, and we'll just return it. Okay, so this is a kind of a polyfill for my promise.all settle. If you just run it on, oh sorry, yeah, see, rejected and fulfilled for empty item. if we have to make this a better one, okay, okay, so this is a very normal behavior, but to not have this, what we can do is we'll just do and this, and when we run it, so yeah, this is what we get. Okay, so this is one of the question that I was asked in a interview, and this is how we're gonna do it. Remember, whenever you are trying to do question like this, ask questions, obviously interview the questions, and first take 2 minutes, just think about it, whether you think you are going in the right direction or not. Take 2 minutes and then start coding. Okay, never whenever they give you a question, don't start writing at that second only, but take your time and then start. Okay, next question. Okay, yeah, so the next question is to create a delay function. Okay, and it will delay a very specific function by this milliseconds. Okay, and I'll also show the next question as well, which is a retry function. What it will do is it's a function retry, and you'll be giving a function and number of attempts, and you'll have to handle this retry function's logic. Okay, we'll do both of these questions. Okay, and I'll just remove all of them. Okay, so first I'll just write the basic function that we need to make. Okay, so this is the code, and we have to create this delay function. How we're gonna do is delay milliseconds, promise. It's gonna resolve using set timeout. And if we just run it, see, that's how we are creating this delay function. Similarly, we should do the retry function as well. Okay, I'll just write the code. Function retry, it will have a function and it will have attempts. Okay, so how it's gonna do is return now if attempts are then equals to 1, sorry, less than equals to 1, we throw the error, otherwise we call the retry function again with function with attempts minus 1. Sorry, so this is how we create our retry function as well. Yeah, okay. The next question that I want to talk about is, just give me a second. Yeah, so the next question is promise polyfills. Like we saw in question number 3, I had to create a polyfill for promise.allSettle. Interviewer can ask polyfill for anything. Okay, so you should be ready with promise.all, promise.raise, promise.any. You should create polyfills for each one of them. Okay, this is going to be a very big video, so I'll share a link where you can find polyfills for each one of them. Okay, do check them out. The next question is async await versus promises. It's a very normal, very basic question, and it gets asked in just a normal conversation, like what is the difference between the both, and the answer is that there is none. Async await is just a syntactic sugar over promises. Okay, that's the main difference. How error handling has been checked. So in promises we use catch. Okay, promise.catch. Now in async await we use try catch block. Okay, and we put our code behind that try catch block for error handling. And when to prefer what? Okay, so when you have to do parallel executions, right, then we use promises, and otherwise when we have to have like synchronous async operation, then we use async await. Okay, this is the basic difference and you should know about it. Okay, next question. It's a bit tough question. Okay, call back to promise. We have to go to our compiler again now. Okay, and I have to remove this code. And the question is callback function. I'll just reload the page. Yeah. Callback function to promise function. So this is the question. Callback based and promise based. So I'll just write the code and then I'll explain what we have to do. Callback and set timeout. CV with null. Okay, so this is our callback based function, and we have to convert this function into a promise based function. By the way, this question is a pretty tough one. Okay, and generally not get asked, but you should know it. This is what I feel like. Okay. So how we're gonna do is we're gonna convert this into get, for example, promise data is a function, and it will return get data. Sorry, return new promise is comma rejected. Return new data. If error we rejected, else we resolve. Okay, and it will look something like this: get promise data, okay, dot then data equals to CLE data dot catch error. Wait again, CLE error. Okay, this is a very pretty weird and tough question. So the question is, this is a callback based question and you have to convert this into a promise based function. And yeah, we just create a promise and we just resolve it. If there is an error, we reject it, and if there is not, we resolve it. That's it. Very simple, but in explanation it gets a little complicated. Okay, the next two questions are one of my favorites, output based functions. Okay, the next two are output based functions. I'll just write the code and you guys have to answer it. Okay, so let's understand, let's see both of the output based questions, right? And this is the first question. We have an async function test which contains console.log1, and this there's an await function, then we are consoling 2, then outside we have 3, then we are calling test function, and then we are doing 4. Okay, so whenever you are doing these kinds of questions, remember one thing, that you should know few concepts of event loop, micro task queue, macro task queue, and how these all work together. Okay, what is the priority? Okay, I read about everything and then do this question or interview prep. Now here we'll do what will be the output. Let us understand together. Okay, this is the function, it is not being called right now, so 3 will be called first. Okay, 3. Next test function is being called test. We are here, 1 will be called. Okay, now await is being used. That means this whole thing will be suspended till promise is being resolved. Okay, so that means it will be sent to the microtask queue and will move ahead. So we'll log 4. Then we'll see that, oh, this is being resolved, and so 2 will be logged. Sorry, my 2 key is not working. Oh my god. Yeah, so this will be the output. Let's just check it once. 3142. Yeah, this will be the output. Let's do the second question as well now. Okay, Okay, so this is the second question. Now let's do this as well side by side. First of all, we'll go to line number 5, which is console.log start. So start will be printed. Next we're going to a timeout. Okay, so timeout will be added to the macro task queue. uh, Remember the difference between macro task queue and micro task queues. Okay, then we'll go to promise, which will go to the micro task queue. Okay, and then we'll go to the end. That means end will be printed next. Okay, so by the way, in micro task queue or macro task queue, micro task queues get the higher priority and promises are in the micro task queue. Okay, and set timeout, set intervals are being in the macro task queue. So this gets high priority, so we'll go here first, and console.log promise will be printed. Well, this will have a macro task queue will be there right now. It will have a set timeout. Okay, and our micro task queue will be promise. Okay, now we go here. So it will be added to our new into the macro task queue. So it will have promises set timeout. Okay, so it gets resolved now. It's empty. Okay, we'll come here, we'll go here, set timeout. This will be logged then. Timeout. Now promise.resolve, and then so promises will go to the micro task. So it will be now something like set timeouts promise. Okay, and then this will be resolved. But the issue is micro task always gets a priority, so that means this will get resolved first. So this will be the next thing to get logged, and after this is empty, we'll check promises set timeout, which is this. And it will be here. So if we log this, see, this is the output. I hope you guys understood some concept here, and if you guys want me to share like my notes and everything, let me know in the comment section. Take care then, till then, bye bye.